Wait, we should do one thing. Welcome
to
the
Wholesome
Music
Podcast. DIY
Podcast
about
DIY
music.
That's right. Let's get all the way into
Let's
it.
do it. Okay, we're back at it again.
For another week.
Can you believe it, Cameron?
I can believe it.
I can too, actually.
Can you?
Yeah, I do. You know,
I can't believe it.
I
I
can't
gotta
either.
have counterpoint.
I can't either.
Oh, then I can.
But you don't need a counterpoint.
Fine.
We are going to talk about one of the biggest things of the season that happens every year.
Yes. It's not the Grammys.
We're going to get to that. One of the biggest things that happens at the end of the year, of course,
Spotify Wrapped.
Spotify Wrapped, and all of the come latelys that have followed Spotify Wrapped. What you need to know as an artist about Spotify Wrapped, what you need to know as a consumer about Spotify Wrapped. Is Spotify Wrapped something that you should or should not participate in as an artist? We're going to break that down and
Way both sides.
yeah. We have some of those very famous Cameron-esque points and counterpoints.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I'm gonna let you know what it is. I'm gonna let you know what it's not.
And then after that, we have the vinyl sales, kind of an update on vinyl sales for 2025. Again, this is kind of like a year-end
Still booming.
sort of thing.
Still booming.
Spoiler alert. And we talked about like maybe where vinyl is useful as a strategy for independent artists.
Yes, and where it's not.
Yeah. You should think about, if you're thinking about vinyl, we kind of have some
Tips, some tricks,
Yeah.
some pointers.
some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Finally, we just kind of broke down we use a songwriting tip from a very famous songwriter.
Yes, we did. Shout out Dan Wilson.
And we took that and used that as a way of kind of springboarding a nice conversation about songwriting.
Yeah.
We talk about it in the intro of that, but like so often we just talk about like music industry and AI and Netflix and Spotify and content.
Yes.
And I was like, what are we even doing this for? And it's because we love music.
Yes.
And so I wanted to just kind of like bring back a little bit of the joy.
Bring back something we love.
Yeah, like rather than talk about AI, which we're not talking about this episode, let's talk about something we actually love, which is songwriting.
And Suno. No, we're not. This is an AI free episode.
Yeah. And so should we intro? Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, my name's Cam LJ. You're here with us at Secret Spot DTLA. I'm a songwriter, producer, videographer, photographer, and I do a bunch of other multi-hyphenate things. This over here, this is my friend.
My name is Augustus Watkins. Pronouns he, she, or they. I am a musician, songwriter, multimedia person as well.
Yes.
I co-own a record label called Give Take. I co-own a traditional PR and music services or a company called Cocaine Opera.
Do you see what I was doing?
No.
I was giving. And I was taking away.
That's us. You nailed it.
Give and take.
That's what we do. I had a meeting one time with someone, and it was with my business partner, and he was like, "So which one of you is give and which one of you is take?"
Oh, you're definitely taking. No, tell me the truth.
Red. All right, you guys. Let's have an episode.
Let's do it.
All right. Cameron, did you do Spotify Wrapped this year?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I observed my Spotify. Would you like to know what's on my Spotify Wrapped?
Not particularly, but
God damn.
Why not?
Okay, fine. I'll tell you.
It's not because
let me twist your arm and tell you.
It's not because I don't care about you.
It's because you don't love me.
It's
because you don't love me.
It's not you, it's me. It's because I don't care about Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, you're not a fan of Daniel Ek?
I know.
Big Daddy Daniel?
Real change of pace here on the podcast.
I don't know what's going on with you. That's like really out of character for you.
You changed and I don't like who you've become. Yeah.
I miss the old Augustus.
The Spotify loving Augustus. Listen, I want to hear your Spotify Wrapped.
Okay, so there's actually a lot going on Spotify
I
Wrapped.
actually didn't do it this year. So.
Okay, so I am fully locked into the Spotify ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I got all of the Spotify Wrapped, and from my Spotify Wrapped, I have like your feed, and then I have your top songs, and then I have like a bunch of other things. But we'll see top songs.
Is
I feel
is
like
this you as an artist or just you as a listener?
this is me as a listener,
Okay.
me as a music consumer, as a consumer of music. And so it gives me like a list of my top, I think it's your top like 25 or 50 songs.
More than that.
So like this many songs, however
100.
many, maybe 100 songs. But I feel like my Spotify rap did me dirty this year. Did me really dirty. Because like I just have like a bunch of consumer music, a bunch of like mainstream bangers. Like this year I have Lose Control by Teddy Swims. River by Bishop Briggs. Tranquility by Jack Harlow. Daisies by Justin Bieber. Juno by Sabrina Carpenter. Ordinary by Alex Warren. And Please, Please, Please by Sabrina Carpenter. Followed up by Big X The Plug, The Largest.
That's a bunch of basic bitch music.
It is. And then after that, I have Kendrick Lamar. So it's just a bunch of basic songs.
Did you do it as for your artists?
I did not do it for my artists. No. I, I feel like I was served this, you know,
you don't really check your art because you're not like, you're a producer. You're not like, you're not really out here. Like
I'm not deep. Like I'll do Spotify for artists for some of the artists I work with.
Right.
And I feel like you can get a lot of insights, but at the same time, considering all of the data that Spotify has on you, it's not that much, not that much data.
So have you heard from the artists that you work with about like their impression of that from an artist perspective on Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah, I've heard some conversations around Spotify Wrapped this year. I think like a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
A lot of people. The consensus this year is it's kind of shit.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, well, I was watching this and we were either going to do this last week or this week. And I was like, maybe we'll wait till it's actually out so we can kind of
compare.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that you don't have one.
I don't do it. I've done it. I know I have done it. I've done it at least once. But like, we don't encourage our artists to do it. I don't do it. I realized pretty quickly that like, I didn't feel like I was participating in the ecosystem in a way. I felt like, well, honestly, I felt like I was carrying water for Spotify. I realized it was like by the second year, the first year I was like, oh, this is novel and neat and this is cool and what a clever idea. And I want to be in on this. And then by the second year I was like, this is a giant Spotify advertisement.
Absolutely.
You'd read like, it would be like all these artists would be like reading their shit and it would be like Spotify. And I was like, wow. It's the same reason why I don't like to wear logos on my shirt. Yeah. I don't want to wear
a marketing advertisement for another brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's not my game. So, and I did notice this year and I'm curious to hear like what you all thought as well. Like, did you do Spotify Wrapped? What is your experience for Spotify Wrapped for the artists that you follow on social media?
And you mean, did you share it? Like, did you go out and share your Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah.
Like,
especially as artists, but even as consumers, I'm curious.
I think in a lot of ways it's really interesting because one, yes, this is incredible advertising for Spotify.
Yeah, and it has been.
But I think the deeper aspect here is like there's a lot of data that Spotify is collecting on you, whether you're a listener, whether you are like a music maker. It's just collecting all this data and it's only sharing some of it.
I want to get into this because here's an article by Liz Pelly for The Guardian. Liz Pelly is a pretty interesting writer on these kind of issues. The title is called "This Spotify Wrapped Season: Don't Outsource Your Love of Music to AI." So this is not written for musicians. This is written for the consumer public. But when we just accept that what a streaming service tells us about our music taste is true, there is much that we are not remembering, learning, or celebrating about the music of our years and lives. This kind of goes to your like basic bitch thing. Like, yes, that's not necessarily like your taste. There's just reasons why maybe that's what you listen to the most.
Yeah.
Which could be algorithmically driven, which goes back to some stuff we've talked about.
I mean, it's really interesting because a lot of these songs that came up as like the number 1 or number 2 song are songs that I was listening to as references for other things. Yeah. Songs that like, if you really listen to it, like a lot of these songs are songs that either I listen to as a reference, like Lose Control. That's a reference song, 56 listens.
Do you want to explain what a reference is?
Yeah. So whenever I'm doing a mix or whenever I'm working on a song, I'll choose 3 to 5 references and listen to them back to back against the track that I'm either mixing, recording, or writing. And that way I can like tailor what it is specifically if I'm mixing. Yeah. This is the most valuable is to be able to listen to it back to back. So I'm playing my mix. I'm going to play
We should do a mixing topic sometime and kind of that's like an incredible tip for people who are mixing.
Yeah.
So
references will change your mixes, will change your life.
But it will also fuck up your algorithm.
Yeah, it will.
So now, your next point about the data that Spotify harvests from us. She says there's much to be said about how corporate decision making shapes public memory when it comes to music. Not just because marketing budgets often determine what becomes popular, but because corporate strategy decides the very metrics that dictate what has value. In other words, like when we're resharing Spotify, we're also resharing Spotify's agenda for the world.
Yeah, of course.
Continuing on, but what Wrapped does not use but Wrapped does not just use corporate metrics to communicate what's important to the market. It uses the same logic to make claims about what's important to you. It reinforces its own logic into taste, but not just to taste, but to one's sense of self.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I guess. I mean, we kind of laugh at like your basic bitch taste, but it's like, if you were to maybe be impressionable about that and believe that now, like you have like the agenda of what Spotify thinks you are, what thinks musicians should be, or thinks what music consumers should be or care about, and then like continually reinforces them by means of this constant social sharing.
Yeah, that's interesting because it also doesn't do a good job of, like, if I look through my my Spotify Wrapped this year, and this is just as a consumer, as we said before, but I think one thing you don't see is a lot of the independent artists that I listen to. Yeah. So even though I've played like songs that I played a bunch,
I know you went through a big woe phase. We can talk about it. Yeah,
absolutely. But that doesn't show up on my Spotify Wrapped.
Right.
And like, that's really interesting. Even if it's like, I just think it's not a full representation always.
Yeah.
I think you're getting a few specific metrics that are kind of speaking to you specifically in one way, but you're not getting a full picture of your listening habits
and what Spotify wants you to care about. Again, back to Liz's point. And I think this is, I want to drive this home like a little bit more, because you can have a Spotify Wrapped where you're like, your music, and I've seen them, your song was streamed 30,000 hours and you were listened to in 190 countries and 75 million people put you on a playlist, and like you're like, wow, Spotify,
that's huge, that's such a big deal, oh my god.
And then you look at your fucking royalties and be like, whoa, like I had all of this engagement all over the world, I made $200
if you're lucky. If you're lucky.
So that's like and like obviously Spotify's not putting that on their thing. I mean, like again, not to carry water for Bandcamp, but like Bandcamp is very out about how much money they pay out to artists. Spotify's like, we got you lots of streams and now we're financing murder technology. Cool.
You know, it's really interesting with Spotify too, because of their place in the market. I think they do share, hey, we have these enormous numbers. Like they'll talk about like, over this many billion streams this year on Spotify. And I think like, okay, cool. How much is being paid out to artists who are making like under a certain level? Because I think one thing about Spotify is, then this goes into our algorithmic conversation, is like once you start to accrue larger and larger plays on Spotify, I think you're significantly more likely to be like thrown into like a playlist or thrown into like a suggestion field, or when you're playing music on Spotify and then your playlist ends and it starts playing music algorithmically, you are more likely to have your song played in that if it's already liked, if it's able to show the platform, hey, this is like, people like it, people are listening to it.
To the Billboard conversation about why Billboard had to change their chart metrics, because Spotify was just serving people the same stuff over and over again because of that. And so like all of this comes down to this like this algorithmic agenda that Spotify has, right? And well, that's an agenda that Spotify has and the algorithm that it uses to drive that.
Well, I mean, ultimately, Spotify's agenda is to keep you on Spotify for more time.
And let's not miss not only that, but like maybe more to the point, to keep you from doing anything else at the same time, right? Like,
Spotify wants you as a Spotify isn't a platform like YouTube where it doesn't really matter if you're listening in the background. It seems to want you to be like a primary listener, where you're listening to this and you're not on TikTok or you're not on YouTube while you're playing Spotify. It's something that you can do. You can have an alternative device, like for here, we'll play music on one device and then do all of our browsing somewhere else. That way both can happen at the same time.
Like Spotify, like they want you to be using Spotify, and like they have a defensive position here as well to be like, we want you to do nothing else with your free time.
That's interesting. I think like,
and it's not just Spotify. Everybody wants to do this.
Yeah, I think a lot of like platforms are kind of preying on your attention, right? Yeah. Trying to get you to spend the most time that you can on their platform and try to like, you know, have you engage the most. Like, how many daily active users can I get?
Yep. And how many daily active users can I prevent my competitors from having? So I want to give Liz the last word here. I just think this is a wonderful article in The Guardian. Obviously, we always put the link in the comments. This is well worth reading. And there are other reasons to find the whole Wrapped idea generally troubling, and not just Wrapped, but the similar year-end recap campaigns that other streaming services have launched to mimic it. Because, of course, Apple's doing this and everybody else is doing this now, too. These are essentially meme-like advertising campaigns for companies that notoriously pay musicians penny fractions. As for Spotify specifically, in a year which the biggest music streaming company has made headlines for its outgoing CEO's investment in military AI technology and the subsequent artist boycotts, its deals with major labels to build generative AI products, big changes in its leadership, and its running of ICE recruitment ads, there will be much Wrapped synchronized commentary on the state of streaming and the varied reasons users will find for opting out this year.
Yeah.
Woo, right?
Yeah.
Liz. So let us know if you are doing Spotify Wrapped as an artist or as a consumer. Have you done it in the past but are not doing it?
Did it hit for you the same this year, or does it feel different?
Do you want to pat yourself on the back like me and be like, I didn't do Spotify Wrapped for 5 years now?
Or were you like me and you got it, you got served it, you're like, damn, this just doesn't hit the same. Can't wait to see it. What does it got for me? What did I listen to? And you see, you're like, oh man, I don't want to post this. Weird. I don't want to share this.
Yeah, you don't want to share that.
No, I don't want to put that out anywhere. I don't want people to see this.
Thank you for sharing that with the podcast
of
community.
Course, you gotta know what I'm listening to.
Yeah. So we are going to pivot now from talking about Spotify to talking about vinyl sales in the year 2025. Okay, so this is from an Instagram account called Frame, F-R-A-I-M. I've been following them for a minute. They post some really cool music industry news. So occasionally I'll kind of repost their stuff. They say, according to let me back up. Vinyl sales on track to grow for the 19th year in a row.
Oh, shit.
So here we are, like, as much as we talk about Spotify and Bandcamp and Apple Music and Quobuzz and Deezer.
Quobuzz. Shout out.
This is okay. I just want to say, like, side note, this is why we know advertising works, is because I saw an ad for Quobuzz.
Did you really?
Yeah, because they pay like a penny a stream.
Oh, that's not bad.
So that was like their big pitch, and I was
that's
like,
respectable.
Okay, Quobuzz, yeah, go girl.
Yeah, which is still crazy.
I think penny stream is like decent. It's still crazy.
It's still crazy.
It's decently fair.
It's way better, but it's still crazy. So crazy. If you told me in 1990, yo, I'm gonna give you a penny every time someone listens to your song, I tell you to fuck right off.
Yeah, you'd be like, what? That'd be like, how many pennies would I need to buy a house? And then you'd cry.
Yeah,
because it's nothing compared to what it takes to buy a house today.
I mean, it's exponentially better than where we're at now. Don't get me wrong,
literally.
But like,
yeah. So keep on fighting the good fight, Quobuzz. All right. According to the RIAA, 43.6 million EPs and LPs were sold in the U.S. in 2024. This is up from less than 1 million in 2006 when the vinyl revival began. We talked about those hipsters and what they did for the music industry.
Yes.
Here we are 19 years later, vinyl's still growing. The momentum continues this year, fueled by, of course, our homegirl Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Her record-breaking The Life of a Showgirl, which sold 1.2 million vinyl copies in a single day.
I want to know what percentage of vinyl sales Taylor Swift makes up for. This is what I'm saying.
We talked about this. Like, I think we talked about this in episode 1. Like,
how do we control for the Taylor Swifts? How do we control for these extreme artists?
She just tips the scales on so many music statistics because of how popular she is.
What were the vinyl sales for 2025? Do you have that?
Let's see here. Let me get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Lamar's GNX was the best-selling vinyl album of 2025 in any genre before Swift's release.
Wow.
By the way, so that's cool. That's
also a very large artist.
Very large artist. Also, we talk about like when we say the hipster revival, that is like a white-coated thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have a hip-hop artist be the biggest sales, and like,
I mean, I definitely picked up a Kendrick Lamar record, like actual like LP.
You're one of these
at Target.
Okay, yeah,
at Target.
Yeah.
So let me break the boycott. Let me break the boycott just for Kendrick. Okay,
you sick fuck. All right. So here we go. In 2025, the RIAA mid-year report logged 22.3 million units sold, with the total value being 461.4 million.
Wow.
Which showed a 1% increase from 2024. In the second half of the year, vinyl sales bounced back thanks to Swift's album and a wave of special edition drops. So just to do the math on that, 46.1. 22, like mid-year 22.3, so we can extrapolate that to 44.6 and take a penny or a percent off of that, which is like 44.2 or something. So 44. Like my napkin math here is like 44 million. To answer your question, what
okay.
For
and like Taylor Swift was like 1 million of those.
This year she was she sold way more than that. This year, so that was last year. To answer your question about last year, this year Taylor Swift sold 1.2 million vinyl copies in a single day.
Oh wow!
So
homegirls sell it. Do you think that's something that's sustaining for her, or do you think that's like the big day?
No, I don't think she probably. I think she didn't sell 1.2 the next day. I'm sure there was pent up demand.
Mm-hmm.
Does show like how big vinyl is, and of course how big she is as an
independent artist. Not independent, but as an artist herself.
Yeah. More vinyl is being shipped than CDs for the 5th year in a row, but according to Luminate's 2023 research, only half of all people who buy vinyl actually own a record player.
Oh, that's crazy. I was one of those people for a long time, but now I'm not because I have the record player.
So here's there's a couple of the trends that we're going to call out in a second, but there's not a lot to extract here right now.
Yeah,
vinyl. Namely that vinyl is still growing. Vinyl is not a cloistered is not what am I trying to say? Vinyl isn't relegated to any one genre. It's growing across multiple genres.
Yeah.
And it's still, as we know, bolstered by major artists like Kendrick and Taylor.
I think it's interesting. Vinyl is an interesting discussion to have, and I'll kind of take a counterpoint argument to you here, where I think vinyl is maybe not as great for independent artists as it is for major artists.
That's such a fucking hot take.
It is.
God damn. Because it wasn't, I mean, that was always like, well, as an indie, you should sell vinyl.
And I think if you can have it made and drop shipped, sure. If you need to buy vinyl, that's going to be
wholesale.
That's going to be a really, really tough sell.
Really expensive.
It's really, really expensive on the onset. I think if you're only doing a really limited run, like if you expect to make like 25, this is not the lane for you. If you are an independent artist who is small, and we're talking like under 1,000 fans small, I'm talking about you. Maybe this is your first gig, second gig, third gig. This is not you.
Don't be talking about vinyl.
Yeah.
Artists at the label at Give Take, people like that's the first question anybody, because we do.
Can we do vinyl?
Yep. Because we do. And that's the very first question anybody asks, almost all, unless they've been around the block to know. I do appreciate when you get into a meeting and someone's like, well, obviously we'd love to do vinyl, but we know we can't do that. So anyway, because the more inexperienced artists, like
let's put my first single on vinyl, bro.
Vinyl, and you're like, no,
not yet.
Unless
build up to it.
Yeah,
build up to it.
Do you know someone who does dub plates? Maybe there's like some like little, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's some like underground world you can get into, which is rad.
Yep.
But like, nah, dude, because like we can't as a business can't put up that kind of money
up front with
speculate on artists
and have no guarantee that you're going to return. And even for you as an independent artist, you shouldn't do that. Like you shouldn't speculate against yourself in an area that you could spend more money on marketing. You could advertise. You could spend that money. Like, I hate to be the big tech hoe here, but like, you could put that money into meta ads. You could push your music out to way more people. You could push your content out. If you have supportive content that goes around the album that you want to put on vinyl eventually, promote that, get more viewers, get people who are into it, and then push the vinyl.
Pay for better mixing, pay for better mastering,
yes,
hire a better band,
yes,
pay for better engineers.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of things you could do before you go drop $3,000 on wholesale, some
that
wholesale.
Being said, if you are big enough, like if you're able to sell a room for 500 people,
you need vinyl.
I would say you should get vinyl.
Yeah.
So I would say if you are past that threshold where you're like, hey, look, we can go book a show. We can fill that room with 250 to 500 people any night. Then we're there. You're there.
I would say it's worth it. Even like that 250 might not even be the threshold. I don't know what it is. I think
200. So for me, I don't really like, I don't know. I want to see you being able to sell like a small room. I think you should be able to sell a room like hotel cafe size or larger.
I see your point.
You know what I'm saying?
You
should be past the group show.
You need to be past the group show.
You should be past the group show. You can't like. This isn't a moment for you to just.
Okay, I'm just saying there's a place between like group show and 250.
Sure, yeah. You're selling
where vinyl might be worth it.
I think the reason I say I jump right to 250 is because there's a gap in those rooms, right? Like there are places like this where we can fill 50 people, kind of max it out, but for the most part, for bars and clubs, I think you're going to run into that like, hey, it's not really worth it for us as a bar or a club unless we can do 150 cap, 250 cap. I think the room, like this is a venue conversation, obviously. We're a little sidetracked here, but I think it's hard as a venue if you're a really, really small venue. Like I think about Republic of Pie. Have you been over there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Republic of Pie, cool.
I know
cool.
about it. Yeah, I've been up there.
But it's like maybe twice as big as this room.
Okay.
So maybe 50, 60 cap.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to be as a venue.
Yeah.
Because you can't really make a lot per night. Like if you get up to that 300, like 250 spot and everybody's paying $20.
Yeah. You might make rent.
You might make rent. And if you're under that mark, and obviously you get way above that, you go into like clubs. You go into like a full club that you can do 500, you can do 700, you can do 800. You get into the Troubadour 850. You get into like way bigger rooms. You get into arenas. And now we're just talking crazy. Of course, you should have vinyl. Get the fuck out of here. Go home.
I would say that
stop listening to us. Go fucking sell your vinyl.
There might be a world. Maybe if you're gigging a lot in the like bar and club scene, and you trust your ability to continue sustaining gigs, there might be a case that like we're gonna eat this cost. We're gonna do 200 records, but because there's so much, the question that artists need to ask themselves is that could that be worth it? Because there's so much appetite for vinyl. Because you go to shows and people are like, oh, you were great. I'd love to have you on vinyl. And then you're like, nah, dude, like I
can't afford that shit, bro.
Look around you. There's like 30 people here. I'm not doing vinyl for you. But it does make you want. It has made me wonder, right? It's like, well, like if you build it, they will come principle, where you're like, should I just find the money? Put up the money to do vinyl so that when I'm doing these shows, I have this memento to give people and this high what's the word I'm looking for? This high margin thing to sell.
I mean,
it's a question to ask, right?
Here's my thought. If you're that artist, if you are that person who's like, hey, I can be, maybe I can sell out 50 people, but I can't get to 100 people. Should I do vinyl? I would say, how good is your music? And I would genuinely ask that. I would say,
I would too.
Like, are you really, really happy with this? Is this something you want to live forever?
And are you going out, like, are you doing one show like that once a month or 3 times a year? Or are you doing that? Are you doing like a touring circuit, getting out, hitting clubs once a month, twice? Are you getting on the road and doing it?
I would ask you another like barrier here, another metric. Are you already selling merch? Are you selling t-shirts and stickers? Because if you're already selling those things, then you're going to get kind of a sense of where your market is, how much they'll bear.
Again, before you jump to vinyl, and we're going to tie this back and close this out, because again, before you jump to vinyl, like find out what your audience wants to buy, and just figure out how to do the thing before you jump to vinyl.
Yes.
Again, so talking about merch, just to bring this back, for many listeners, vinyl has become a collectible object.
Agree.
Playboy Cardi's Whole Lotta Red 5-year anniversary edition sold out in seconds. And then there's I don't know this artist, Hami, and the song called The Gat, which they only released 26 copies.
Wow.
And sold for $3,000 each.
I mean, that's another thing we can talk about really briefly is high price, low volume. So like, are you like, I think of groups like the Blue Man Group, or I think of like really like Snarky Puppy or other bands that are very niche, and their fans are very in. If that's you, I think you have an opportunity to make up like a
26 copies of something at $3,000 a piece.
Exactly. Because I think, this model isn't going to work for everybody. Like if you are just like your average band, probably not for you. But there is a use case of people who I do think this super low volume, high price product can work really well. Whether it's like, we talked about the tapes. Tapes are another medium where like, hey, look, we're only making 6 of them. And I'd worked with an artist a little while ago, really briefly, who wanted to put their music on vinyl. It was a single, wanted to put a single on vinyl, but make it a release for deaf people as well. So you'd have Braille on the back of the vinyl, and then you'd boost up so that you could feel it. So you were, when you would listen to the music, you would physically feel it. So boost up all of the low end of the record. And so when you played it, you could physically touch it. I thought that was interesting. Interesting use case. But also it's going to be something where that's an incredibly expensive product, probably retailing at $80 to $120.
Oh, at least.
So like that kind of a product is just different.
So lots to think about with vinyl. Obviously, vinyl is not dead. It's still on the
vinyl's not dead.
But it is on the far away from its glory days. In the 1970s, more than 300 million LPs and EPs were sold per year.
Wow.
So times change. Because I do think part of what wholesome means to me, just to get umbrella here, is
big picture.
Is that like it's focusing on what does matter, instead of focusing on what doesn't matter,
tuning out the noise.
And really, how do I want to say this? Like focusing on what you love rather than what you hate, or what you want to happen rather than what you want to not happen.
Putting out the vibes you want to see.
Sure. So
create the world you want to live in. Be the change you want to see.
Yeah, I don't know. And just like, don't get hung up on how much Spotify AI sucks every week. Part of what is about being wholesome for me is about like making sure that we focus on the real joy that is the songwriting
things that
process.
you love about music. Yes.
So in that spirit, are you familiar with the songwriter Dan Wilson?
Of course.
Okay. He, of course, has been famous since the 90s. Semisonic.
Closing Time.
Yep.
Closing Time.
Yeah, and he's got a catalog of hits.
He's a Minneapolis artist too.
He's based in LA now, but
originally from Minneapolis.
They were Minnesota artists. And he's worked with everybody.
Yes.
He's a very sought after.
Also incredible songwriter. Incredible songwriter.
Yeah. And so I like to follow his Instagram. We're kind of doing a little Instagram one today. I follow his Instagram, and he posts occasionally I think excerpts from his book, which I haven't read, but I still recommend. And so all I wanted to do was to talk about one specific songwriting tip that he put out there.
Wow.
Just kind of go between us. Just talk about it a little bit. And then build on that. There's another piece that I want to talk about. So now that we're 4 minutes in, we're actually going to talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yes, we are.
So Dan Wilson's, this is from his Instagram. We'll put the link in the show notes.
Link in the description.
If you never say that phrase in real life, maybe leave it out of your song too.
Explain that to me.
So the example he gives is, please don't leave my love on the shelf. Which is
if you wouldn't if you wouldn't say it in real life, don't say it in the song.
Yeah.
Interesting. So he's kind of saying like make it realistic. Like don't say
naturalistic.
Like, yeah,
is the word we're looking for. Yeah.
Naturalistic. Make it something you would actually say.
Yep. And so when you listen to the words that people use in top 40, this is like this is a major like songwriting instrument for the way that pop music is being given to us right now.
Yeah.
Max Martin is a huge proponent of this. He talks about how like he cares about how songs are heard and just kind of feel.
Yes, Max Martin is a very interesting songwriter. I'm very into Max Martin. So Max Martin is an interesting songwriter to dive into his lyrics because he's not an English language speaker first.
Right.
He's a
Swedish.
Yeah, English is a second language learner. So a lot of Max's writing is very clear to the point, very much like these single word choruses.
Yeah.
Like Baby, like all of these other songs that you
classic
think.
One, I Want It That Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like just really, really, really straightforward. Like there's no way for you to get this confused. It's, I want it that way. Like this is really clear. Yeah. This is, yeah. And there are a bunch of examples like that.
There's a great Elton John, later era Elton John, where he says, I said Elton John like 55 times there. He's got a line that just says, I want love. What a cool line, right?
Yes.
So, and there's like, going back to Dan Wilson, like we're talking about putting phrases in that like you would say in real life.
Yes.
And so I want to break this down. There's two sides to this. There's the common side, which is just using words that people say. So I pulled up I went on the Billboard charts and just looked at big songs. And then I had to go through all the Christmas songs because
it's Christmas season.
But this I don't even know this song. This is Man I Need by Olivia Dean.
Come be the man I need.
See, I don't know it, right? So I'll just say the first verse.
Come be the man I need.
You good?
You know.
All right. Looks like we're making up for lost time. Need you to spell it out for me. Bossa Nova on all night. It's like a type of alchemy. Introduce me to your best friend. I can come and slot right in. Like that's just like something we could say to each other, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Just be the man. Just come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give. I want it. I kind of like it when you call me wonderful. Whatever type of talk it is, come on then. I got to know you're meant to be the man I need. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me, right? Like
Tata?
That's such a...
Tata?
You are caffeinated as fuck. You are all over the place.
But yes, talk to me. I mean, I think those are really clear, really simplistic lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great song with a very translatable lyrical structure.
Yep.
It isn't something that like needs a lot of translation when you're listening to it. It's very clear.
Yep.
It's very much, this is what the song is about.
Yep.
And I think sometimes like storytelling lyrics are also in this family where it's very clear. It's very direct. You're not doing a lot of metaphors. You're not saying things that wouldn't necessarily translate in a conversation. So yeah. I think
you're not saying like, you know, I just like, you know, we talk about like Moon and June, which is like which is also like bad rhymes, but also like you're not just like, I try to think of like bad examples of this. And I was like, I didn't want to like,
call out one song in particular.
It's like, because what's funny about this is, you like right now we're in this very naturalistic era of songwriting, and so you don't hear a lot of examples that don't use this because the most successful songs do, and so it's hard to find counter examples of stuff that doesn't accept our like indie artists and up and coming. There are artists occasionally that come in here at the Oxford Open Mic that we do every week where I'm like, oh, I just want you to phrase that differently because it's good, but like you're kind of missing the point. And so I want to I want to talk about the other side of this. It's not just the words, but the other one that I want to kind of really emphasize is naturalistic phrasing. Putting the emphasis on the right words.
Yes.
So of course we know this thing about English, like there's this thing that we say about English language. Actors, you'll know this, where you can take a sentence and you can put the emphasis on every single line and it changes the meaning of every single line. So like let's say the sentence is he only told me he loved me. So we could say, he only told me he loved me. 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 Right? And on, right?
He only told me he loved me.
Right. right? And so that thing that English has this capacity to do, which is like you can
morph.
Morph meaning based on emphasis. Something you have to consider when you're songwriting. And so I hear these I hear these sometimes, like I think I tried to write like a bogus example of one while I was setting this up. So like when you're following, I don't have a good example, but when you're following a melody, make sure that you're thinking about that melody. Like don't get so locked into the melody that you end up putting emphasis on words where they don't really belong.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing to examine for songwriters, especially songwriters who are early in their journey, is are you writing first melodically? Are you writing the melody and then are you trying to fit words to this melody?
Yeah.
Or are you writing lyrics and then trying to fit melody to your lyrics?
And both of them have their place. Neither one's better or worse.
Both have their drawbacks too.
But both of them. And I think one of the things that happens is if you can really get like so hung up you can get hung up with a melody you want to do and you can smash some words in there that you want to put in there. And as a result, you can put emphasis on the wrong words.
Yes. One thing that I always tell like beginning songwriters is count out the syllables. The first thing, the most valuable thing that you can do for your songwriting in the beginning is to count out the syllables of each word.
Okay.
And make sure that like where every, if you look at a word like open, open, you know that the emphasis where's the emphasis?
Great. Because you don't want your lyric, if you're going to use the word open in a lyric, you would want to make sure that it's open and not open.
Yeah.
And you hear that with beginner songwriters a lot. They'll accidentally put the emphasis on the wrong word.
Yes.
And our ears are subtly tuned to hear that.
Very good at picking it out.
Check out of a song for that.
And another thing is like trying to fit in too many syllables, right? So if my first line is like open up the door and fall in love.
Great.
And the second line is like trying to fit in like fall in love with all the things I love so much
about you.
Yeah. You feel these things that are like, oh, that's too much. And so you might speed it up. You might be like, open up the door and fall in love with all the things about you. Like try to squeeze it all in instead of counting it out, seeing how many lines are in your first stanza, see if you can match that same number of syllables in your second stanza.
Yeah.
That way your things scan and they sound good together.
Yep. And then you can drop some words and get clever with it.
Take out the little like filler words like I, this, you, take out those little things that you don't need.
Yep.
Again, and if.
Yep. Being careful about like this is why songwriting is subjective. This is why songwriting teams are important. And this is why demoing and all of this is
huge.
Because you can make like, you can go for naturalistic. You can go for dropping those words out. Both of them have a place.
Another one that I really like, and I'm pretty sure I've shared here on this podcast, is adjusting your adjectives, upgrading your adjectives. Is the sky blue or is the sky like cyan?
Right.
Like how can you take something that's really simple like these?
Is it loud or is it explosive?
Yes. How can you upgrade those adjectives to be, is it cacophonous?
Right.
How can you take those words that otherwise might be like kind of bland, kind of like, oh, I've heard this song before.
Yep.
I've heard this story told, but you haven't heard it told this way.
Yeah. The part of hitting that universal, like that touching the universal, is just trying to explain something that we all experience just in a slightly different frame,
in a new way. Steal like an artist.
Exactly. So I just wanted to use this because we talk about a lot of industry stuff, and I just thought, like, what do we do this for? And what we do this for is because we love doing this. So shout out to Dan Wilson's Instagram.
Shout out to Dan Wilson.
He puts a ton of great songwriting advice up on his Instagram.
Yes.
Definitely worth a follow if you are a songwriter.
Yes.
Probably more relevant for some genres than others, but
I don't know. I think songwriting tips are pretty universal. I think, most genres can benefit from good songwriting.
True. When I was thinking about this, I was thinking about the very famous Lil Wayne line, real G's move in silence like lasagna. Which I have to say is actually an incredible line.
Yeah.
Because the G in lasagna is silent. Right? So it's so clever. And like that's a level of songwriting where it's like that hidden meaning, double, triple entendre that like the greatest rappers can do. That like
you can do that as a songwriter too.
You can
do that as a songwriter.
But like the reward for like, the reward for doing it in hip hop is different. Or like
I want to push back on that really briefly. I think you can do that as a songwriter. I think no matter what genre you're writing in, take the time to make your lyrics one level deeper. If if you've got a really simple line, I think not everyone's going to catch it. It's not going to be for everyone, but do it. And I think it'll improve your quality of writing.
Counterpoint: don't get so wrapped up in trying to be clever for somebody who won't understand it that people miss the main meaning.
Yes,
there's definitely
make it clear. You got to make what's the word? You got to make it
clear.
Not clear, but you got to make it translate. You got to make it
naturalistic.
Make it naturalistic. You gotta make it naturalistic.
Okay, my friends, that has been another episode of the Wholesome Music Podcast. So, as always, what are we going to have them do?
Like, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the hype button, do all the things. If you're listening on the, any of the apps that aren't Spotify, then go ahead and leave 5 stars, leave a comment. Comments are cool as fuck. Leave a comment. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to see next week, what you want to see the week after that.
I just enabled this thing. I haven't got anybody yet. It's called you can text us now.
Ooh.
I enabled it on our podcast provider.
Ooh, okay.
So if you are listening on a podcast, look for this link. It should be the first thing in the description, if not the last thing in the description. If you want to communicate with us that way, of course. Otherwise, you want to get a hold of us, find us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok are the best ways to do that.
Shoot us a text on the RSS feed.
Apparently, you can text us from the future now. We are out here every week doing this.
We are every week. It's faithfully.
It's getting towards the holidays. So it might get a little squirrely.
They might get a little funky. We might miss you one week, but it's not because we don't love you.
No,
it's because we love other people too.